TKJBricks here, welcome back to another LEGO review. Now today we have something very special which I've been waiting a very long time to finally get my hands on, and that is of course the LEGO minifigures Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse LEGO series. Now those of you who've been paying attention to the LEGO rumours through the last year, we of course knew about these bad boys coming out quite a while in advance, and I didn't quite believe the rumours until we started seeing the pieces come through, a few leaks coming out here and there. And today, as of September 1st of recording, we finally have the new CMF figure wave released. Now, first impressions, just looking at the box art alone, I am very excited and very impressed by the presentation of these guys. Taking a look at one of the boxes here, we of course see a fair few of the characters included within this wave. For those of you who aren't aware, we'll go through the whole list at the end, but we of course have Werewolf Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Bite, Web-Slinger, Punk Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, and of course Spider-Man India, which I don't remember his actual name, I think it's Privyet Parker, something like that. But yeah, already a great looking lineup of figs, and we can see the box art as well is very reminiscent of the packaging and art style for the Across the Spider-Verse movie. And yeah, can't wait to get these open. So I think that is enough yapping from me for now. I think the best thing to do, and the only thing left to do, is to crack open these figures and see who the first one we get. So what we'll do, we'll work our way left to right, getting through each of the 12 minifigures included, starting off with this bad boy right here. We can see me butcher this opening of the box. And our first minifig of the day is Miles Morales Prowler. Okay, moving on from the Prowler, we move on to our next minifig of the series, which shall be none other than Miles Morales himself. So now we have both the different variants of Miles throughout the movie out of the way. We can move on to our third minifigure of the episode, which, I can get it open, will be Peter B. Parker, along with Mayday herself. Okay, we are 3 down and 9 to go, leading us on to the next minifig of the series. So far so good. We're getting some main characters out of the way here within the film. And next up we are joined by another main and integral character, one of my personal favourites, Spider-Man 2099. Moving on to our next minifig, we have Spider-Bite. Let's take a look in more detail. Moving on to our very next minifigure in this series, we have up next, not my favourite, but not the worst, we have Werewolf Spider-Man. And with Werewolf Spider-Man, we now reach the halfway point for this particular CMF, which will bring us on to minifig number 7, which will be Spider-Man India. Following on from Spider-Man India, we have up next, somewhere in here, yeah, this guy, Sun Spider, this girl, I don't know who this one is, but she's in the series. So after that interesting choice of a minifig, we'll hopefully have something a bit more relevant, a bit cooler in this one. And it's going to be none other than Spider-Man Punk. And sadly, that brings us to the final 3 minifigures of the Spider-Man wave. So far, all of these have been great. None of them disappointed in terms of actual Lego quality. And bring us at the number 9 spot, we have the Web Slinger. Okay, nearing the end of this CMF, we have the penultimate minifigure. Now, I believe all we are missing at the moment is the Cyborg Spider-Woman and Spider-Gwen. So, 50-50 guess. Who will it be? For those of you who guessed Spider-Gwen, 10 points to you. And with the in-depth of Spider-Gwen all done and dusted, that leaves us with, sadly, the final minifigure for this absolutely incredible wave of CMFs. Now, ironically, this was the hardest one to find in the store today while I was scanning all these boxes. So it's rather fitting this was the last minifig to be looked at. And it is, of course, Cyborg Spider-Woman. So here we have it, the full completed Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse CMF wave. Now, if you couldn't already tell from the in-depth of each of the figures, I'm in absolute awe of this minifig series. I think it was a great idea and concept for LEGO to go ahead with. Considering we've had the obviously 2 Marvel series in the past, I think the Across the Spider-Verse films were just the perfect solution and perfect idea for the next wave, being there so many different variants and versions of Spider-Man in that movie alone. It's obviously given way to some iconic characters now, such as 2099 and Spider-Punk there. And at the same time, I think the only downside to this series is a few of the figure choices down at the rear end. Now, obviously I know a lot of these characters only appear for a very limited screen time. Take the Cyborg Spider-Man, for example. Whilst a very cool design, only appears for like 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Same can be said with the web slinger character there. This guy, what are we doing? There's no need for that one. I don't think, is he in the final film? I feel like I read somewhere he's in a trailer. But either way, not so good of a choice. And the same can probably be said for this guy right here. A cool looking Spider-Man, you don't see many orange ones. But when they could have included Scarlet Spider, Spider-Man Noir to a more CMF level detail, I think there's definitely some better characters they could have picked rather than the Spider-Man werewolf. A few better designs and better picks they could have gone for with the series, especially with the werewolf and Sun Spider, as I mentioned. Whilst cool looking in minifigure form, especially the werewolf Spider-Man with the 2 different dual modded legs, I feel like it's a design that most people probably would have passed on if they had the option to choose other Spider-Men and other variants from the multiversal movies. That being said, my complaints about certain character choices aside, I think we can all agree that every figure included in this wave is just absolute S-tier, elite level detail. I think nearly every single figure in this wave, bar only 1 or 2, have dual modded legs. All of them at least have leg printing, arm printing, a few of them have side leg printing. It's just a level of detail we don't see enough with LEGO, unfortunately. If you're a big LEGO Star Wars fan like me, we're always praying victim to lack of detail and lack of consistency when it comes to certain figures. One minute we'll have Jango Fett with arm printing, the next minute he comes out with no arm printing at all. So it's very good to see these Spider-Man figures full to the brim with detail to a level that I could only wish were produced in everyday sets. But then again, that is the beauty of the CMF waves, and I suppose the thing to look forward to when we see Marvel figures, especially with such high level detail. The complaint I've heard a few things about, and I do kind of see their point of view from, is in relation to the bases. Now, those of you who would have collected the Space CMF or the Dungeons and Dragons CMF quite recently, or even looking back as far as the LEGO Batman movie, had custom printing on each of the base plates. So I know for the LEGO Batman series they had the bat symbol on every single one of them, and with the D&D series you had the nice kind of cobbled streets to give the bases a bit more of a unique feel. With that being said, obviously we do get these kind of nice looking translucent orange bases, which do fit with the movie's theme, obviously kind of fit into the retro sci-fi aesthetic of all the technology they use in the base. Very similar to, of course, what we see with Spider-Man 2029. However, I don't think it would have hurted them to just print at least a little Spider-Man symbol, maybe a Marvel logo, just something on this piece to actually make it a unique piece at the end of the day, as opposed to just a random trans orange square. But either way, it's nice. I think it's glad they did this as opposed to the regular black ones. And it does make them stand out a little bit more if you have all your CMF series lined up in your collection together. That being said, what do you guys think of the Spider-Man CMF wave? Are you looking to pick up the full set, or are you only going to pick up a few specific characters? Let me know down in the comments below who is your favourite pick from this wave, and give me a top 3 of your favourite figures. For me personally, it's got to go down to my man 2099. Might not have the most detail of all of them, but this design is just insane. And for anyone who's been looking at the aftermarket for the original Spider-Man 2029 minifigure, we're very glad to get a £3.50 version as opposed to paying £50, £60 upwards. So I'm very glad to see this guy remade, especially with these very more commonplace plastic capes we seem to be getting now, which I am a very big fan of indeed. But again, let me know your favourite figure and let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, maybe think about subscribing. Stay tuned to the channel as we have plenty more LEGO content, news and reviews coming soon. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.